Hi guys, welcome to our live feed here. This is the first one we're doing, kind of for real. We ran a test yesterday. So let me tell you who I am. I'm Matt Davey, I'm the board president here at the Charter Club. And what we're going to do is we're going to take any of your questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in, and that's going to be relayed. And then we're just going to introduce all of our staff. We're going to kind of walk around. We're going to look at certain areas of the building, some that you've seen, some that you haven't seen, and just kind of discuss things and what we're doing in regards to the coronavirus and the steps we're taking right now. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the staff in the management office. And the person behind the camera, the guy who has been running our communication since last summer, you've probably seen a major upgrade there, is Drew Cepeda. And so I'm going to have him turn the camera around on himself as much as he doesn't want to. So go ahead and Drew turn it around and say hi to everyone.
Good afternoon, Charter Club. How's everybody doing today?
All right. Drew, can you tell us a little bit about what you do then here? I mean, you're the person that residents interact with first when they come into the Charter Club and into the management office. So kind of just give us a little bit of a rundown of what you do so that everyone understands who you are and what you do with the building.
Okay, so my day consists mostly of answering emails, answering the phones, answering all the questions and concerns all the residents have, making sure that we do provide the best possible experience while living here at the Charter Club. Aside from that, the administrative portions of the job include the invoices, making sure our bills are paid, making sure we order supplies, especially now during these tough times, to make sure our staff is safe and can work as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, so Drew is the one who has upgraded pretty much everything you get from our communication standpoints. He's upgraded the newsletters, he's upgraded the emails that get sent out. He's the one who has changed our social media presence from what it was before. And this has all been in the past. How long have you been here, Drew? 8 months?
Since July of last year.
Yeah, so probably, not very long. He's really changed a lot here at the building. So he's one of those unheralded superstars that we have here in the office. And then as well, maybe you can take it out here so you can see one of the things we did last year here was we changed the management office. So if you haven't been down to the management office, you can see now the new management office out here. And for those of you who are looking for what it used to look like in the past, you can see it in our highlights on the Instagram story highlights. So if you go to the Instagram story highlights, you're going to be able to see all the projects we did in 2019, before and afters, and a lot of other information can be found in those highlighted stories. Some of which, even deal with traffic patterns. I know that the management office went when the Florida Department of Transportation had its meeting about the traffic patterns around our building. So the highlights there show kind of what the plans are and what the timeline would be for changing that. So this is the entry point, our management office entry point that you guys are familiar with. This is the reception area. We're now going to be traveling into the office area and we're going to meet the rest of the management staff now. So in here, we have Ingrid.
Hi, Charter Club. How are you?
Ingrid is our residential property manager. She's been here since February 2019, correct?
That's correct.
Yep.
Yes.
So, Ingrid, why don't you just explain a little bit about what you do on a daily basis, what your job entails, and I mean, most of you, I think, probably know Ingrid. You've dealt with her in some way or another. So, go ahead, Ingrid.
So let me just begin that I started here as an assistant property manager and then I was promoted to the residential property manager. My daily tasks are like reach out to contractors, make sure that they provide the certificate of insurance that they need to provide in order to come and work in the building, just to protect the association from any liability. I do some of the invoices. I translate, or I gave that task to Drew so he can start learning also what is the task for an assistant property manager. I answer emails. Most of the residents send me the complaints, so that's one of my daily tasks. What else? I do the manager's monthly report, and then Esmeralda review it just to make sure that everything is correct. I also handle some part of accounting, such as variance reports, and I will just thank you guys for everything. And I just want to say something. I know maybe I just want to take advantage of this platform right now, just to remind you to not pour water down the balconies. This is a complaint that I received today, and one of the residents told me that she has been cleaning her balcony for the past 2 weeks, like every day. So please keep that in mind. You're wetting other person's property, and they don't like cleaning their balcony as much as they doing right now. Thank you.
Okay, before we move on, I want to answer Jay's question, because Jay put forth a question here, and he asked, where can you find the traffic movement data? The traffic movement data, Jay, if you look on our Instagram page, in the highlights, we have an F dot, is what it's called in the highlights, the highlighted stories, and you can run through it there. Also, if you need further information, you can send an email over to Ingrid, and Ingrid will provide it. Ingrid actually sat in on that meeting with the Florida Department of Transportation, so she would be able to answer all of your questions on that rather specifically. So if you have a specific question that you have right now, you can ask Ingrid, and we can answer that right now as we go. And I know it'll take a little while probably for you to type that in, but I'm going to now go on over to Esmeralda Lopez. Esmeralda was hired in, was it July or August?
August. I started
August.
on the 5th.
Okay. She's our project manager here at the building, and also property manager. So project property manager combination. So Esmeralda, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do on a daily basis?
So my day consists of primarily meeting with the staff and making sure that everyone is kind of doing what they need to be doing. Usually I'll meet on every Monday morning with all of our staff and kind of set the directive and kind of the vision for that particular week. We create little projects to be done within the projects. So if we are, for example, like we showed yesterday with preventative maintenance, we were up in the roof. That was a project that our chief engineer and I sat down and spoke about, and we kind of put it together and plan it. So I kind of take care of the planning, staffing, and creating the vision with the board for what will happen with the association.
And also, I think right now we should take a little opportunity to kind of see this part of the office as well, which you guys don't typically see. You're usually out in the reception area, but this is also brand new and was done in the last year. So this is, again, a big improvement. And also, if you're looking for the before and afters for here, so you can see what it was like before, that is also a highlight of one of our stories on the Instagram. So in the same area where you can find the Florida Department of Transportation, you can also find a highlighted story dealing with management office renovation. I think we also have penthouse hallway renovation. We have the Luxor 1 installation renovation, and then just general updates for everything that we did in 2019. So again, all of those can be found in the highlighted story area. And so with that, if you have any questions for Esmeralda or Ingrid, go ahead and type them in right now. If not, we'll go down the hallway, and we're going to meet the rest of the staff who you tend to interact with on a daily basis, so that you can know them a little bit better, and hopefully greet them on a name by on a first name basis. So, do we have a question or no? Okay,
So the question was, I'll come over with you.
Mhm.
So the question was, what's being built in the office space by the gym? So I believe they're referring to C1.
C1, yeah.
So C1 is, they started it out as kind of like a working space.
Yeah,
so
it's
team share, work
correct.
share.
Yeah, and it's going to be shared office space. So it's going to be one of those. I think they have a plan for approximately 30 offices to go in there. And it's a shared space that are going to be separated, I think, with like 200 square foot offices. And with that, there's an area there, that's dealing with parking. And I apologize that I'm pausing a little bit because I see questions coming in, and so we're trying to react to the question at the same
That's
time
all right.
here.
So the next question was, do you have a recommendation for disposal of large objects at this time? Are any companies picking up items? Should we hold our large items for now?
Well, we do have our large trash container out there
It's
now.
full,
correct?
it's ready to
It's
be
full.
picked
It's
up.
already full?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So when will they be picking it up? Do we know?
I don't know.
Next week, I will say.
Okay.
And Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay. So, and then that will stay here, correct? Or are they going to take the trash
Yeah, I'm
can?
not gonna order a new one unless
Okay.
we need one.
Okay.
But, so for now, maintenance has to request one, or our janitorial team has to request one.
Okay, so then maybe walk them through what's normal with bulk trash.
Okay, so usually what is done with bulk furniture or trash is that you are responsible to call a company to come and pick it up, or take it to Goodwill, or call Salvation Army if it's a good piece that you can donate. And that's the way it is. But when we have the dumpster out there, some people call us and we let them use it, so you can take advantage of that. But right now the dumpster is full, and if we continue to put anything in there, we're gonna get charged because it's overloaded. So please do not put anything in there right now.
And the dumpster she's referencing is the one that is on 35th Street, on the south side of the property. So that dumpster is completely full right now, so just follow her recommendations. So do we have another question?
The next question is about security. They
Yes.
want to know if there is any additional security initiatives happening, obviously post the coronavirus is what they're asking.
Oh, post-corona? So there's certain things that we did. So we added one housekeeper because we know that everyone's going to be here more frequently during the week. You should all be here. shouldn't be out. So since everyone's going to be here, we added an extra housekeeper. And then with security, we currently have two.
So we actually do have a little bit of a ramped up security team right now. We have some additional people from PSI who are here in addition to our rovers. Typically, it would just be the rovers because we filled all those shifts now. So we have our one rover on each shift plus an additional security guard who's on staff that's also roving another part of the property.
Yeah. And I can say with that, security is one of the main concerns that we have, that we're focused on here as a board and with management. And so, everything from the landscaping project that we're undertaking to the daily activities, security is always a big factor in everything going into that. It's one of the things we told the landscape architect was that, we don't want this to just be beautiful, but we want to try to find ways to better secure our property. So, there's multiple aspects of this going on. So, another question? Yep.
So the next question is: are the scooters blocking the property? Is that the way the property?
Are the scooters that are on the property and blocking the walkway in from being reported to the scooter company? In front, being reported to the scooter company?
No, what we did do was we put a sign in front. Right now our security actually takes them back off the property. And there's a sign, our security has been told to actually check to see if a homeowner or a renter is bringing the scooter up, and that renter or homeowner will be fined. They're responsible for keeping it past the sign. When you come right into the property in the front, there's a sign there that says no scooters or any kind of public access vehicle beyond this point.
Okay. Do we have any other questions right now, or is that okay? So with that, we're going to start doing a tour then, and so you can meet the rest of the staff and see some of the areas that you may not have been exposed to. Go down the hall from here.
We do have one question.
Yes.
What is new timing on landscape, green space, parking, surface projects?
Yeah, so as of today, we are supposed to be receiving our zoning analysis. Once we have our zoning analysis, the landscape architect then has 4 weeks for the concept design, and it should actually be less than that, so it should be done within that period. And then we'll start sharing designs approximately about a month or two from now, Everything has been slowed down a little bit by the coronavirus, but we're still proceeding forward with that because we realize that's a major initiative and something that really needs to get done in this building to improve homeowners' value. So it's a major project, but we're still going forward with it at as quick a speed as possible.
What I would just say is that, because this project is so large, we want to make sure that we do it right. So we're really taking the time to think about every possible variable. So we don't want you to think that we're just sleeping on it. That's not the case at all. It's just that we're taking we want to plan in the best possible way to make sure this goes as smoothly as possible, because it really will affect the entire ownership.
Okay, we have 2 more questions.
Yes.
One is, could new meeting minutes be uploaded to the website at some point?
They are uploaded. Only approved meeting minutes are uploaded into the website. The draft, we have to wait until the next board
Right.
meeting to get approved them, and that's when we can upload them.
Right. So let me explain that in a little bit more detail. So what she's saying is, for uploading the minutes, they have to be approved. For minutes to be approved, it has to have another board meeting. So right now you have, I guess, what would be 2 board meetings back up on the website, and you have minutes that have not been approved yet from our last emergency board meeting, which was, what, a week ago?
About a week ago.
Yes, so that one is not up yet. The second question?
Have the permits come in? I'm waiting for the East Side Hurricane shutters to be installed.
Okay, so the permit, they're asking about the permitting issue here?
So we were like this close to finishing the permit issue, and then the coronavirus happened and everything slowed down. My understanding is that we're currently waiting for the city. Everything, all the drawings for the violations that were in place, we had them come and do the work. The drawings were submitted to the city, and now we're just waiting for the city to give us that approval so those violations can be lifted and we can start getting permits again.
Okay, 2 more questions. Any news on hurricane windows from insurance policy?
So yeah, we currently have a Hurricane Irma claim going. We don't have any news on that at this point. I know that I was scheduled for a sworn statement under oath, which has been canceled because of the coronavirus. But yeah, we're still working on that right now. And obviously that's something that we're proceeding with going forward. So.
Okay, and one for Ingrid. Minutes are under what title?
They're under meeting minutes, documents, and then meeting minutes. You have a drop-down menu, and you will select meeting minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's head on down. So the room that we're headed to next is a room that's not normally accessed during the. Perfect.
Should be back now.
Okay, so this is our security room, a violations coordinator room. So come on in. This is where our violations coordinators are. And so let me take a second here to introduce everyone here. I'm going to start with Romello. So I think most of you know Romello Vance. Romello's been here for how long now, Romello?
Going on 2 years. It's been a year and at least 5 months. Very soon to be 2 years. And most residents, they already know me. I went from security to property management. We are the violation coordinators. We are the ones that keep this building in best shape as possible. We are here. Anything that's a problem in the building, you guys know to contact the front desk. We will always be here to help on any of you in the building. Guys, introduce yourselves.
I'll go ahead. So this is Anthony. So I'm going to let Anthony go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself, Anthony, so that the people know who you are and know a little bit about you, so that when they interact with you, they know everything.
Well, I've been here for 6 months. I've been with security. I work with the property management company for the building. I basically go around and make sure anybody needs help, or look for violations in the building, or if anybody comes to front desk, they can always contact me if they need any assistance. I always help them out wherever they can. Noise complaints, anything they need assistance with, I'm there to help them out. So.
Okay. And how long have you been here, Anthony?
6 months.
Okay, perfect. So, and then we have Diane over here. So Diane, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been here and.
Hello, my name is Diane Best. I have been here 6 months. I'm a violation coordinator, and I'm here to help the residents as much as possible. I do the violations. I watch to run the camera back. I do the shopping carts, and I just try to make the property safe. I do the garage, the parking lots, and walk all the floors. Make sure there's no shopping carts and nothing there in the trash chutes that does not belong.
And so now, as you can see in the room, we have our security cameras up here. So this is where they're able to view all of the cameras at once, all set up. This is a brand new wall here. This was done last year as well to make it easier for them. And you know, everything here makes it just easier for them to be able to recognize what's going on, to see if there's any issues with the building, to see if there's any issues going on outside the building. It gives them an opportunity, you know, to handle things properly. And then let's go through here. I'm gonna take it to the front desk. So this is actually the door that leads to the front desk right here. Let's see. It is Kevin. So let me introduce Kevin here. So Kevin's at the front desk. I think almost, if you don't know Kevin, then I don't know if you've been living in the building very long. You must have only been here a few months because everyone knows Kevin. So Kevin, how long have you been here now for?
5.5 years.
5.5 years. So he's been here for 5.5 years. He's been here 5.5 years. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Kevin. What do you like to do? You know, so.
Do a little relaxing, but believe it or not, I enjoy being here most of the time.
Okay.
Everybody here, because I've known them for so long and stuff.
And what shift do you work here?
The morning shift is 7 to 3:30.
So 7 to 3:30. So Kevin's always here from 7 a.m. to 3:30 every day at the front desk. So, and then you can see Kevin, he monitors cameras as well here at the front desk. So he's got a camera bank and he handles packages. The larger packages are back there. He does parking passes. I mean, you guys know what Kevin does at the front desk. So we're going to head on out. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you,
So
man.
let's go.
We did have a question from Jay. He asked, how are the cameras monitored?
Cameras are monitored by violations coordinator and by the front desk. So, you know, one of them is always monitoring it, especially the front desk. It's always there at the front desk so that they can view the cameras. But then the violations coordinators also have this camera bank right here. When they're in here, they can view everything that's going on as well. So there's two areas where the cameras are viewed. They're viewed constantly. So
Yes, and let me add something. Front desk only have main entrance view for the cameras. They don't have this entire views that you can see here. So just so you know, okay?
yeah, perfect. And then as well, I'm going to show you right now because they're unloading packages. So this is actually a good chance to see. These are the oversized packages that come in here. So these are the packages that do not fit into Luxor 1. So sometimes you may get some notifications saying, hey, you've got an oversized package, you need to come down here and pick it up. This is where they are. Again, these are just oversized packages. They come in through that door, so they don't need to come in through our lobby. And then they're all handled here. Any packages that are not oversized, Romello will take, and he will put into Luxor 1 that should be in Luxor 1, he will move them into Luxor 1, which he's doing right now. So that's just kind of how the package system works back here, so it's a little bit behind the scenes. So with that, I'm going to take you, so you know where we are, I'm going to take you to the other side of this wall, which is where the new conference room is going. So we're going to go on over there. Oh, we have a question. Why, which one is it? Dana, why are you working on landscaping when, as I understand it, almost all of it have to be ripped out when waterproofing begins?
That's what we mean.
Yeah, when I say landscaping, we're doing both waterproofing and landscaping at the same time. We know that both have to occur simultaneously. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying landscaping. We're not just doing landscaping and then going to do waterproofing after that. It's a simultaneous endeavor. So.
Okay, another question. Are residents allowed to have Ring doorbell cameras? Is there a policy?
No, because it will alter the front of the common area or the hallways. You have to keep the uniformity throughout the hallway, so that's why you cannot have that type of camera in front of your door.
Okay, we have another question, which is, where is Jeff? And I would assume that you're
Jefferson?
talking about Jefferson front desk. Jefferson front desk no longer works here.
That's
Which
correct.
did he move to another which building? Don't know.
No,
I don't
he
know.
did not move
Okay.
to another building. I had to let him go for a couple of reasons. Unfortunately, he had been written up multiple times, and we had several discussions, and it just did not work out. So that's why he was let go.
Okay. So we're gonna go here. I don't know. Can we get into the conference
Yes.
room? So this is where we have the new conference room. It's not completed yet, but you can kind of see what's going on here behind the scenes. We're still working on this area up here. So this area is still, a work in progress. We have our conference room table. Again, this is going to be a new amenity for the building once it's put in place. And it's going to be a great place for our management team. When we have new owners, new residents, they can come here, they can meet with them and not have to be in their office. It's just going to create a much higher level experience, I would say, for everyone involved.
Definitely,
So,
definitely. So what we're waiting for, because I know we've been talking about the conference room for a while, and you're like, why is it taking so long? We're actually doing some custom builds to keep the uniformity of what you see in the management office. So the same guy who did Drew's desk at the reception desk at the front and the credenza that's in the management office is the same gentleman who is creating a credenza for this area that will keep with the overall look of the
He did
building.
the front desk.
And he also did the front desk.
okay. So let's keep on moving here. Is Islam still here? Because we could head down there.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, this is actually good. So, some of you may have noticed as well that we now have volume playing on our television. So, you have the Instagram video from yesterday playing up there, in which Esmeralda met with our chief engineer, and they went up to the roof of the building and discussed the preventative maintenance measures that are being done. So all of these videos now are here, and so that you can hear them as well as look at them. So it should give you...
Let's also not forget they're on YouTube, so you can go to our YouTube channel, the Charter Club, right? Charter Club or Charter Club on the Bay?
The Charter Club.
The Charter Club, and please, we want to get 100 subscribers, so please subscribe.
So, and also we have one in the garage as well that is set up down there where we're headed right now. So let's just go ahead and take the stairs down. As you can see, we have another monitor here. There it is. Okay. So now we're going to head on the back gate. And for those of you who may not still be aware, this is where the cardboard boxes need to go. So if you have any large cardboard boxes, this is always where they're taken, and that is always where you need to put them. You need to flatten them and then put them into that area right there. So that's where the cardboard boxes are.
Okay, so another question was asked, it was kind of asked a little bit before, what is the abandoned area or what's going to happen with the abandoned area next to the gym? It's actually not an abandoned area, it's owned by someone, and they are turning it into a shared workspace. Who knows when that will happen or what will happen, but they do own it and we don't have control over that specific area.
I will say that they have been working on that project now for approximately 4 years. I believe it started in 2016. So, while the progress is not being made, they are paying the maintenance fees associated with it, which is a large amount. It's 9,000 square feet over there. So they are paying their fees. They are doing everything that they need to do. We are pushing them to get it done. So hopefully they will get that project done quickly so that it looks a little bit better for the building. Now we're going to go outside and meet the staff member who's here.
Introduce you to our Instagram people.
Hi, Island. How are you doing?
Surprise. Introduce yourself.
My name is Islam. I'm working at the Lightgate as a PCB.
How long have you been working here?
8 years.
Wow.
You handle all of our move-in and move-outs then, correct? So every kind of
Yeah.
move-in goes through you and all move-outs as well.
Moving,
Contractors,
Contractors.
Correct.
And I must say that she does a very
good job and to control who comes in. She checks the contractors, vendors' insurances, and she will not let anyone inside the building
Not
if
just
they
a
are
good
not
job,
authorized.
Great job.
Great job.
Great
she
job,
does.
yes.
And I would also like to say that she does it while attending classes, correct? You're still attending classes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So she attends night classes. She's just a great worker out here. So you get a chance, always say hi to Island. Amazing person.
Yes.
So
Thank you so much. Thank you.
okay, so back on inside.
We did have a suggestion from. Is it possible to post reminders for apartment etiquette? Sliding doors are heavy and very noisy. When neighbors open and close doors, it sounds like rocks are falling.
We can definitely do some sort of bulleted reminder thing. We maybe even put it on Instagram as a post with just some fun reminders for neighbor etiquette. That's not a problem.
So with that, I guess, is there anything else that you guys want to see right now? Is there any areas, go ahead and type them in if there's any areas of the building that you want to see. I'm going to show you another area down here that you probably don't know about. Areas that we're looking to do stuff with, but are not doing anything currently with. But I'm going to show those to you. But if you have any places you want to see in the building that you may not have been exposed to, go ahead, type it in, and we'll see if we can take you there. So.
Jaime.
Yes, I do.
Jaime. Okay, so this is Jaime. She's part of our janitorial team. So just dile hola, say hi.
Our cleaning staff is a little shy. They're a little shy.
But they do an excellent job.
Yes, they do an amazing job. They did not know that we were doing a video. It's spontaneous. So not everyone loves to be in the camera as much as I do, as you've noticed from the YouTube videos.
Okay, we have a suggestion. In the future, I would like to see kids' playground with grass. Another question, any plans for the garage? I know specifically over my parking spot, I've had issues with leaks and the ceiling cement falling.
Yeah, so that deals with a waterproofing issue. So any leaks that you have coming down there are dealing with a waterproofing issue. So that is obviously something that's part of our big project. So and that's Esmeralda's specialty, so I should let her talk about it as opposed to...
Yeah, so what you're seeing is calcium deposits that are dropping because cement is porous, right? So as water infiltrates past the membrane, which is already deteriorated, it falls that down into our garage. Once we redo the membrane, you guys shouldn't see or experience any issues with leaks. I mean, that would be the goal.
And then two residents asked pretty much the same question. Are we planning to do anything with the large empty space next to the tennis courts?
Yes. So again, that is all part of the, and I'm going to scoot out of the way here so you don't hear Esmeralda over and over again here. But so Yes, that is part of the waterproofing and landscaping project. So that is all being considered by the landscape architect right now, what to do with that area. He's been told to make it in a way that increases homeowner value and provides stuff for our residents to do. So he has that combination in mind, and we're waiting for his complete vision. Like I said, right now we are doing a zoning analysis of what could potentially go out there, so that he knows what his options are. Esmeralda, anything to add to that?
No, I mean, so what he's doing is he's basically giving us a couple of different renderings, and then the board will look at it, the board will review, and then they will bring it, narrow it down and present it to the association. But that's the plan right now.
Okay, another quick question. The recycling area, is this still happening?
The recycling?
Yes.
Yes. We can go right there. So we'll go right to the recycling area right now. It's a very good question.
We had 2 suggestions for locations to visit, the employee break room and the sump pump room.
Ah, perfect. Can do that. So.
And then another question while we walk to the recycling area, if carts aren't being allowed to be put by the elevators on the floors for security to pick up, does security still go to every floor regularly?
They do. They go to the floors regularly. In fact, if you have some people who are leaving their carts there, they typically notice them. So you can see that they're there. I would say once a day, probably. If they go to the
Potentially
floors.
more. It all depends on the area of need. They do have a structure that they're supposed to follow, but as you know, with buildings, there's always variables and always things going on. So depending on the need, they may get to a particular floor one day or the other day, or they may do it every single day, multiple times a day. It really depends on the need and how busy we are at the moment.
So this is the recycling area here. Now we've reached it. So yes, we're still doing recycling. So it's in this area here. So again, this is on the back side of where the laundry room is, down in the garage area.
And just to remind you, plastic bottles shouldn't have caps, so you can take that off and just recycle the bottles, okay?
And each one is labeled. So you have newspaper, glass, aluminum cans, plastic, steel cans. So it's all specifically labeled out here for you. So recycling is still going on out here. Okay.
Okay, so
What were the other areas?
the employee break room
Employee
and
break room.
sump pump room.
Okay, perfect. Let's go to the employee break room first.
We have a question. Can residents borrow some of the gym equipment?
No, we can't allow that to happen. I can let Esmeralda and Ingrid respond to that.
So that's a hard no from me on that matter, only because that presents, number one, we have to worry about getting it back. Number two, there's liability involved with releasing our equipment and allowing residents to use it. So multiple residents have asked me. I would love to be able to do that as a courtesy, but I just don't.
Okay, another question. With sea levels rising due to climate change, could we look into building another parking deck above the one we have?
Yes. And in fact, that is something right now that is being contemplated by the landscape architect in the waterproofing project, about areas to cover parking that would normally be up top. But that requires a detailed zoning analysis that we would be getting back likely today. So that is definitely something that is under consideration right now.
Okay, another question. Is the building soundproofed, particularly floors? I have very active ceiling neighbors. Possibly another suggestion box idea.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's a question for Ingrid, because that's something Ingrid handles on a daily basis.
What's
So
the question, I'm sorry?
about soundproof floors in the units and whether or not that's required.
It is required, and you require city permits as well every time you're gonna change your tile. And it is, I believe, the soundproofing that we require is 72. So that's something that the building requires. Every building requires soundproofing, okay?
All right, so now we're in the employee break room. So this actually gives me a great chance to introduce Junior.
Yes.
So Junior is our head of housekeeping. So he's the guy who's here almost nonstop. You can almost always see Junior here doing something. So
Junior does an amazing job. He actually is here probably more than any of us, including the people who live here, I think. He really helps to maintain everything. He supervises the cleaning staff, and he is also part of our weekly meetings. We meet with him every Monday to kind of assess what's going on in the building and see how we can improve things. So he's a big part of that process.
Yes, and let me say something, and I don't want to sound that I am asking you too much, but please be mindful of the items that you dispose down the trash chute, because this is the man that deals with the trash chute. He is the one that has the hard time unclogging the chute every time someone doesn't think what they're disposing down the chute, and the chute gets clogged. Not only that, it is a hazard or a liability. So please be mindful.
Just to give you a little bit of a visual of what happens. For example, someone last week threw an ironing board down the chute. The ironing board can't physically get all the way down the chute. The chute has a curve at the end. So what Junior has to do is actually physically go into the bottom of the chute to start pulling things out. Obviously, he's doing that, not even being able to see everything that's about to come down that chute when he unclogs it. So please think about the people who are actually having to do the work to keep that chute working properly for everyone.
do we have any other questions at this point? Or? Nope. Okay, so what was the other place? Maybe just show all of the area here for the break room.
So all of our employees had their own locker, little sitting area. We have a fridge and a microwave. They can keep their utensils and things of that nature. So, okay.
We have the maintenance room. I don't know if anyone's in there to let us in. It's locked, but this is where our maintenance, this is their office. Who knows what it may look like when we go in there, but this is the maintenance office. Let's see if anyone's there. Or if
We have a question. Could we have a way to post unwanted furniture's tables? Maybe one person's trash is another person's treasure. And I can answer that, yes. If you can send me a PDF with the pictures and the items you wish to give away, any information regarding the items themselves, we can always post it on the display boards in the mailroom and downstairs in the garage area. And also all the residents can see what you have to offer.
This area here is the maintenance office. And so that's our chief engineer, Delio, who you saw yesterday, I'm sure, on the Instagram video, up on the roof. Now he's down in the bottom, he's down in the garage. So this is his office. This is where all the tools are. And then back here is an interesting room as well. I don't know if it's locked. Delio, is this locked right now? Or? Yeah, it's locked. But in here we have our hurricane prep room. So if, Delio, do you have a key for this or no?
Yeah.
Okay, and so I'll just explain what it is. So in here we have a hurricane prep room. And this is where we have all of our materials when a hurricane's approaching. So we have lanterns, we have everything you can imagine.
We have a small generator.
Small generator. So
AC units, portable AC units.
So you can see what we have once he opens this. And then, so go on in. And so this is our hurricane prep room here.
So Matt, I'll say something real quick. One of the things that the board tasked me with when I came and began working at the Charter Club was staffing. And so the question came up about Jefferson, and people have also approached me about Neil. And so I feel like it's important that we address it. It's not that any particular person was bad, is that at the Charter Club we're looking for the best. And one of the things that we're striving for in 2020 and going forward is excellence. Here, if you look around the maintenance room, you'll notice that while we do have a lot of things, there was a lot of disorganization and there was the possibility to make it better. So Delio has been working with me to create a 30, 60, 90-day preventative maintenance plan to make sure that these kinds of things are addressed, that our inventory is addressed. For example, if you look over to the left here, you'll see, or straight ahead, you'll see that there's all these different cupboards. All of those have different kinds of nails and nuts and bolts, which sounds very rudimentary, but those are things that really weren't in place before. Same goes with the organization of this. So now they're working on the center of the room to really give us the organization that we need so that when we are in an emergency situation, we're not straggling and trying to find out where everything is, but we have things done in an organized and structured way.
Deli, we have a question for you. When is the equipment tested?
Which
equipment? Which specify that?
That equipment?
Oh, you mean so in the all of this stuff?
Yeah.
So our hurricane stuff, unfortunately, is tested or was tested far too often, including non-hurricane times. You remember when we had our problem with the AC on the
FPL.
an FPL surge with the AC on the east side of the building. We had to use a lot of these materials during that time. I mean, the lanterns. We even had to use our big full generator at that time. So this stuff gets tested far more than we would like. But
what we will do is right before hurricane season begins, which is approaching now, we'll go through and test all the flashlights, make sure everything has new batteries, that the generators are fully charged, that we have enough gas in the event that we need to use our larger generator and things like that. So all of that will happen probably in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, the due date for us, for KW to have the hurricane preparedness plan is May 31st. So yes.
And I have been pushing that to get that to us sooner because we want to have a board meeting on that. We want to get that approved. We also, one of the things as well that's an option to us based on the insurance package that we took last year is that we have the ability for an emergency line of credit. And that's something you'll see at our next board meeting. We're probably going to have a vote on those two topics to approve the emergency preparedness plan and to deal with an emergency line of credit in the case of a hurricane so that we don't have a problem. So, yep. Any questions?
No
Nope.
questions at this moment.
Okay, so let's. What was it else? There was a sump pump room. Deli, you want to take us to the sump pump room?
Sure.
Okay. So. Yeah.
We have to end it there because I don't think my battery will
Okay.
will allow me to go further.
Yeah. So we'll end it at the sump pump room then. I
Yes.
guess. So the last place we're going to visit then is the sump pump room because that was requested. So we're going to go there.
And if you have any questions, any last questions, this is probably the time.
Yes.
There's one question. Do you have defibrillators, first aid kits?
Well, we have a first aid kit. I don't think. Do we have defibrillators?
As far as I know.
No, as far as I know,
No.
we don't have defibrillators. We do have a first aid kit, but not with a defibrillator.
Right. Yeah. And the first aid kit gets changed, or somebody comes just about
Yes.
every
Synthes
month.
comes every month to make
Yeah.
sure that we're
Refillers.
full, that it's full.
So, all right, let's go to the sump pump room then. And this is the last chance for questions. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and type them in now, and we'll try to answer them as best we can.
This is the sump pump, I'm sorry.
So that's, that is our sump pump room, and it's also our trash room. So this is the dirtiest room, and you can see that the ladies in the office did not want to come into this room. In fact, they ran out the door, although it smells very, very good compared to what it usually smells like down here. So I will say that the, I guess it's E. coli or whatever. Yeah, they've done a really good job in improving the smell in here. But yes, this is not the most pleasant room to stay in, so I think we're going to head out of here. And I guess we're going to end it with there. Do we have any questions right now?
Yes, we have. Yeah. Okay, can we get electric car charging areas in the near future?
That's something we're looking into.
Yeah, I think as part of the landscaping project, so one of the things we're looking at is a total overhaul. So when we say landscaping project, please understand that we're not just talking about landscaping. We're talking about the waterproofing, and when we do the waterproofing and we put down a new parking deck, that will also be a consideration.
What is being done with the problem of water that does not drain or flood in the garage? And floods in the garage, sorry.
Okay, so yeah, we've had our structural engineer look at that. We have Falcon Engineering, and there's a lot of issues with that, some of which, I mean, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but some of which just can't be fixed.
That's correct.
And so, you know, we're going to do what we can to fix certain issues, but there's others that, you know, given our location, given where we are, it's some of it's just not able to be fixed. And that's why we have our landscape architect looking at possibilities of trying to do covered parking, maybe upstairs in some way that's not in the garage. But you know, we're kind of limited with what we have. There's no way we're going to be able to provide the same amount of covered parking that we have down here.
So what you have to understand is that the water is not coming from over; it's coming from under. We have active wells that are under our building, as well as we're below sea level. So we're kind of impacted both ways. Last season was my first year here, so we were trying all different kinds of things. We thought maybe the drains were clogged. They're not. It simply is the fact that water is beginning to rise. So we are looking at this as part of the waterproofing project, but I don't know how close we'll get to fully remedying that issue, at least not this year.
Another quick question: have we ever looked at a bike maintenance station, like a community air pump?
Yes, you want to answer that question?
We have an air pump over there that you guys can use it. I don't know what else by bike maintenance station do you want besides the air pump? But we do have an air pump here.
So for those of you who don't know, in the back corner over there, it is our northeast corner of the garage. We have a car wash area, we have a pump area, and we have an area where you can vacuum the inside of your car. So all of that is in that northeast corner over there.
Okay.
And we're walking that way now. You can see that it's right by the bay, and then it's right by 36th Street.
That's another question. Mm-hmm. Is there any way to change or move parking spaces?
No, not right now. There is not.
Okay, I heard this one's real quick. Water to enter. It's expensive in the coming months. They will be.
Okay, so there's a question about how healthy are the reserves. So the reserves right now are very healthy. We have over around 1.5 million. I want to say over, but don't quote. I think it's around 1.5 million. Our reserves are in good shape. Also, our collection policy, because I know you mentioned economic hardships in the question, our collection policy is in very good order, meaning we don't have a lot of accounts receivable. And again, that's something that Ingrid does on a daily basis, making sure that we don't have high accounts receivable. So Ingrid, you want to say anything about that, or you good?
No, our collection right now is really low. Like we don't have, I would say, only around 3 accounts that are over 90 days.
And with a building of 458 units, that's a very good number compared to other buildings. So in terms of where we are, we're in good shape, but she's always making sure that we're in good shape. That's one of the things that she's always focused on here. So, was there another question there, Drew, below that?
Yeah, somebody says that their parking space holds water leakage all year around. Will this be remedied with any new work initiatives?
It should be. I mean, that's the reason we're doing the waterproofing project, is for that very reason right there. So with the new waterproofing project, landscaping project, that is an issue that we hope to remedy.
Okay. Is the vacuum machine working? It's also the car wash and the vacuum free to use.
Yes, it's free. Well, for the vacuum, you have to put in quarters. But other than that, it is free to use, and this is the car wash area right here. Now, one thing I want to make sure is you can see there's a car that is parked right there. So when you're using the car wash area, try not to spray the cars that are right next to it. Try to limit it to your car. I know it can be difficult at times, especially if it's super windy, but try to make sure that you're not going as you can. So. And you can see here the vacuum is a quarter operated machine. The air is also quarter operated. It's a vac air machine. And then you have water over here, which is free to use. The soap that you bring down, you would have to bring down soap, but other than that, this area is for use.
All right, we're gonna end this here because this is modern technology and my phone is going to die. We hope that you guys enjoyed this. We'll try to do it on a continuous basis so that you have time to ask and interact with us. And please let your neighbors know that we're doing it so they can join in too. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys.